Star Wars Episode 9 by writer and director J.J. Abrams is all set to conclude the Skywalker saga itself, as well as the sequel trilogy, by also involving a lot of Jedi and Sith lore. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, what's really intriguing about Episode 9 is that J.J. Abrams really does plan on connecting this movie to the prequel trilogy era, and also the EU/Legends material, which is something that I think a lot of hardcore fans out there are very excited about when it comes to Episode 9. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Rey and her Sith connection in Episode 9. Specifically, a description of Rey inside of a vault with R2-D2. Her outfit is a mix between black and gray, which could symbolize something. The next goes over Rey opening a wooden box, and inside of it a triangular object is seen that appears to be a Sith holocron. It is red and has a golden frame. R2-D2's flashlight is aiming at it for Rey to see as she picks it up. The last goes over Rey with her eyes closed, with the holocron floating in front of her as her hand is raised up. This is said to be a holocron that once belonged to an ancient Sith Lord. So I really wanted to dive into this because this is very interesting stuff for sure. Now, the first holocron that we saw on film when it came to the Star Wars franchise started with Solo: A Star Wars Story during, of course, the battle between Dryden Voss, Han Solo, and of course Kira inside of his den. We saw the actual holocron in the background. Now in Episode 9, it seems as though that J.J. Abrams really wants to dive even further into Sith lore as well as Jedi lore in Episode 9. Something that I believe a lot of fans expected to see in The Last Jedi, given that part of the marketing went over how age-old mysteries of the past would be explored. So going into Episode 9 now, how Rey is actually toying around with a Sith Lord holocron, or Sith holocron if you will. Why would she actually be experimenting with it? Why would she be closing her eyes and meditating with it? This is honestly raising a lot of questions, and it really could lead to some clues as to exactly, what Rey's lineage is going to be like in Episode 9, because after all, J.J. Abrams does indeed plan on giving Rey a very important lineage that is going to be unpredictable to a lot of fans out there. So with that being said, we do know that Sith and Jedi lore are going to be a thing in Episode 9, which is really good. But where are we? Where is this vault? That's the huge question of the day round, right? Now, this vault could very well be on the planet Pilio, or could very well be within the Jakku Observatory on Jakku. If you guys have read some of the books out there, the Jakku Observatory holds tons of Sith relics and Sith actual artifacts that once belonged to Emperor Palpatine. It's where he actually personally stored it over there, and it also has hyperspace pathways to that part of the galaxy. So there really is, a lot of potential when it comes to Episode 9 for Jedi and Sith lore, something that I myself personally love. They explore this deeply within the Darth Vader comics when it comes to Lord Momin. Lord Momin really is a great addition to the Star Wars franchise that makes us understand the dark side a whole lot more. But I digress. When it comes to this sequence where both, of course, Rey and R2-D2 are inside of this vault, and R2 is helping her out by using a flashlight and able to make her see exactly what's in this dark vault room. This is really honestly getting very interesting, because when we think about Emperor Palpatine, we've been hearing about his possible involvement in Episode 9. We do know that's from some of the storyboard and concept art descriptions that there are plans indeed for Emperor Palpatine to be a part of the overall story in Episode 9. And for Palpatine to be involved when it comes to the connection to Jakku and the Jakku Observatory with the Sith lore and the Sith artifacts, that point honestly just makes a whole lot more sense. So with that being said, guys, what do you think about this Sith holocron? Who did it actually once belong to? Since it is described as an ancient Sith holocron, who could it really, belong to, or who did it actually once belong to? It must not be Darth Plagueis, because a lot of people would say that he is not quote-unquote an ancient Sith Lord, perhaps. but I think it could very well be a new Sith Lord that they are trying to introduce into the Star Wars canon that falls under the Disney era. They've been doing this quite a lot lately in other canon pieces like books, novels, comics, you name it. Lord Momin, Darth Atreus, just to name a few, and more to come in the future in 2019 and 2020. We're going to be learning more about Sith Lords and stuff. So, what could Rey be learning out of this new ancient Sith Lord, you know, holocron? What could she possibly be learning from this? Why would she be meditating with it? Why would it be floating near her while her eyes are closed while she's meditating? This really does raise a ton of questions for sure for Rey's lineage, and I would really love to hear what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.